There is blood on the streets. The markets are tanking. Crypto is down. Bitcoin's at 62K. What should you be doing? Should you be panicking? Should you be buying? We're going to have that discussion. And which sector, which altcoins? Should we just be loading up on Bitcoin? Are there altcoins that are on sale that are worth a second look? We're going to have to talk about that. We also have Adam from Radix joining us to give an update on RadQuest and how you can make money with Radix. Super excited for that. Also, we have an update on the spot Ethereum ETFs, a big Ripple partnership. Avalanche and the California government are working together. What exactly are they doing? And what does that mean for AVAX and the entire blockchain space as a whole? We'll have that discussion. Also, we're going to talk a little bit about Solana, and we're going to talk about DeFi. DeFi metrics are starting to come back. Is now a good time to give the DeFi sector a second look. We'll talk about that and much, much more on today's episode of Sin City Crypto. Let's go.
Hola! It's your boy, Big Rob, back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto. If it's your first time checking us out, we're the entertainment-focused cryptocurrency channel. We take old, boring, stale information, repackage that whole thing up in a fun and sexy way.
Are you panicking?
I am not panicking at all.
Are you scared?
Hold steady. I feel
There's
like...
blood on the street.
You know what I feel like?
What do you
I feel like... You ever seen Forrest Gump when they're on the boat? They're on the boat and the hurricane's coming, and then they're just like holding on for dear life. And they come back to the only ship that's left, right? Everything else that was at dock is destroyed.
Gone.
And then in comes the Bubba Gump Shrimp Company.
What a great company that is.
That boat comes in, and they were the only ones left standing. And I feel like that's how I am right now. Everyone is freaking out, selling, crashing, burning, and okay, it's really not that serious. I mean, we went from 67 to 63, so we're good.
I mean,
we're good. We're good.
It's not that serious, but sentiment is definitely seriously not good.
No, not good.
I think people are I think our memories are so short-lived. We forget last cycle, and this potentially could be from, hey, I've only been around, this is my first cycle. This is my first complete bear and bull market cycle. So maybe people aren't used to it. Even people that have been around for a while, for multiple cycles, they're just like, well, why isn't Bitcoin going up? We made an all-time high before the halving, never happened before. So people would assume that it was going to continue to go up. And now it's been consolidating for 5-6 months. And so people forget this is from the exact same playbook as almost every other cycle, with the exception of making that all-time high before the halving. This is crypto, guys, right? Again, Monday or Tuesday, Robin shared a tweet thread. Out of the last 14 years that Bitcoin has been trading, only 2 of those years cumulatively have been upward price movement. The other 12 years have either been sideways or down. And so it's all par for the course. Now, we talk about why is crypto dipping. I'm a firm believer in everything happening overseas, people fearing for World War III. I think that has a lot to do with it. We'll talk about the stock market today. The Dow Jones had its worst day in almost 2 months. The recession talks are coming again. And so these are all things that are weighing on investors. You have companies like Apple, legendary investors like Warren Buffett have a crap load of cash on the side. They don't know what the Fed's doing. Jerome Powell yesterday. Yeah, we could see a lot of rate hikes or a lot of rate cuts or no rate cuts. Well, great. Thanks for that clarity. Makes a lot of sense, right? Investors want clarity. They want to know if I deploy $10 billion into the tech sector, if I go risk on, if I decide to invest in up and coming companies in the stock market, or if I want to maybe branch out to crypto, something I've never done before, I want to know the next 6 to 12 months, there's not going to be anything crazy happening, right, that I can forecast and foretell. We just don't have that now. There's a lot of uncertainty. The election is coming up. And I honestly think, I'm not trying to get political here, but I think a lot of people, they fear that if Trump does not win, that we're going to see more of what we saw the last 4 years in the next 4.
If Trump doesn't win, we're in a rough spot, at least with the executive branch right now, with the current president and administration, just no progressive crypto regulation. Everything has been negative.
Not just crypto, though, man, just everything. I really think everything.
Yeah, I mean,
I really do. So, but
so you think the country's gonna collapse?
not the country's going to collapse. I think investors are going.
I don't know. I don't really know if
I'll tell you.
I don't know how the broader markets will react. I know that once Trump, or excuse me, once Biden had basically bowed out, we saw that that Wall Street took a dive, right? It pulled back, and that was in anticipation for Trump perhaps not winning the election, and well, the markets rally when in expectation for Trump coming in, and I think that just kind of speaks to where they think the direction of the market is. I don't necessarily believe that so much. I don't think that the executive office has that much power in the, I would say, in the traditional markets, because I mean, I think it's more or less about the interest rates, where those are set at. Is the ability to borrow money, and the Fed's position and the United States government's position for quantitative easing, are they going to just basically make it easy to invest and borrow money? Is that's the environment that we've had in the past, that we've seen the markets rally. Now, when it comes to crypto, that's a different game, because crypto doesn't operate in the same way that traditional markets do. They need the U.S. government to allow them to operate, and that's what we haven't seen so far. So, I don't know. I think that crypto is screwed if Trump doesn't get elected, at least in this situation.
I'm going to say right now, I think if Kamala Harris gets elected, we're going to be in a recession. That's just my.
I don't put that much weight as far as the economic situation of the country on one president. I do think that it does affect the macro picture, but I don't think that one candidate's going to turn the country in from an absolute recession to an absolute economic boom. I think there's a lot more factors at play, and I think that the optics that you get for one president, I think, is grossly over dramatic. It's very dramatic as far as how big of a difference it is. Basically, everything is polarized. Oh my God, if Trump wins, everything's going to be fixed. The country's going to be better than it's ever been before. If Kamala wins, or the Democrats win, everything's going to go to crap. The entire country's going to catch on fire. I just don't think there's that much weight. And I know that the politics really make it seem that way, right? We live in this environment where at this point, because we're so divided, that if the other candidate wins, it's going to be the end of the world. And I agree that there is going to be big political changes and ideologies, but I don't think it's that dramatic. I really don't. Congress is really the one that makes laws. The Fed is the one that sets interest rates. The Treasury Department heavily influences the direction of the U.S. economy. The Fed also does quantitative easing. And so I think it's a lot broader than just who gets elected to president. Are we going to have a good 4 years or not 4 years?
I want to give a big shout out to Amy Lives Crypto. Said she bought her Bitcoin 2025 ticket with our discount code.
Oh, nice. I met with Amy at Bitcoin Nashville. She actually mentioned Ashley first thing. She was like, I love I was like, hey, how you like the show? First thing, she's like, I love Ashley and
damn, Amy,
Jimmy.
That's messed up. And Jimmy, what the?
She was like, the two of them are always arguing. It's amazing. And I was like, okay, for sure.
Right. So she doesn't like you guys. She likes
I don't think she does.
I think she likes us.
No.
No, I'm the star of the show.
Some of you might not
the star of the show.
Some of you might not know, but Amy actually has a YouTube channel. And so Billy kind of connected me and her, and I just texted her and said, hey, if you ever need any help with anything or have any questions, but this is her YouTube channel. Their content's really, really good. And for only 357 subscribers, I think it's only a matter of time. She keeps putting out content like this. It's going to be amazing. So if you're not subscribed to Amy on YouTube, I recommend you do that. I'm actually going to drop this link in the comment section here so you guys can do it. And so we love supporting our community, and we appreciate those of you that support us as well. So Amy, thank you. We're working on something special for all the people that are buying tickets with our code. More to come with that. And so we're super excited.
Yeah. And then if you guys haven't tuned in the last 2 days, or at least aren't familiar with the next convention, it will be here in Las Vegas. And so we're really excited that Sin City is going to host the next convention. And then also we have our coupon code. So just go in the description. You'll see the link for the Bitcoin conference, May 27th and 29th, I think it is.
Yes.
Yeah. And so here in Las Vegas, and we're going to have a mansion. We have a mansion we're going to have a meetup. Guys are going to come by the studio. We're going to do all kinds of interviews. It's going to be a lot of fun. So really excited about that. So if you haven't got your ticket, get it. And then we're going to blast you out at the end of the show every day until the conference. So.
Well, yeah. We got a lot of plans this year or next year for the Bitcoin conference. We want to do our part to make it the most successful, greatest, the best Bitcoin conference anyone's ever seen. Let's talk about the crypto markets. Bitcoin crashes below $63,000. The whole crypto market is bleeding. We saw $338 million of cryptocurrency being liquidated. So this is over the past 24 hours. And no surprise here, my friends. We zoom out here to the 24-hour. 92% of those were longs. And so we're going to continue to see these big price movements to the downside because crypto and Bitcoin are so leveraged. It causes cascading effects. But at least on the other side, we have the ETFs now that are buying the dip, to which Arkham Intelligence, I don't have the post on X, but they posted BlackRock continues to buy Bitcoin not only for their customers via the ETF, but also for the allocation that they've set into their model portfolios, into their the certain different portfolios they have for people that they recommend. Bitcoin is a part of a few of those, so they're buying Bitcoin on these dips.
You know, you keep mentioning buying these dips, and you know, I gotta say that by far my favorite dips is the Dippin' Dots, and so this is.
What's your favorite flavor?
I don't. Is there a flavor? I thought it was just like a bunch of different.
So do you not like Dippin' Dots?
I do like Dippin' Dots, but I
But
just
you don't know the flavors.
I know there's like chocolate, and then there's like
Banana split,
Cotton
candy, rainbow, cookies and cream, chocolate.
I just point to colors. I just point to
chocolate fudge
colors.
brownie.
You just point to colors.
I just point to color. Okay.
What?
You
know how we say this is not financial advice.
I do the same thing when it was like freezer pops. You know, it's like blue or
So
red.
you pick a color and not
Yeah.
the flavor?
You used to eat crayons, didn't you?
Probably.
No,
Yeah,
those colors aren't
did.
very good.
It's like, oh man. So I did mention the traditional markets here. So we know crypto is down. We'll get into the markets here in a second. The traditional markets are also very, very down, as you see here from the Kobayashi letter. Dow Jones is down 850 points in 3 hours. The S&P has erased $1 trillion of market cap since 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Maybe the market doesn't want rate cuts after all. You saw NVIDIA shed a crap load. I mean, they had their stock split and the stock price just tanked. And so, you know, the house of cards is starting to fall down. All the fake money, the over leveraged money that's been pouring in and propping up certain markets, including like literally all the markets, stock market, crypto markets. We'll see what happens over the next few weeks as the election draws closer. But expect definitely, I'm expecting definitely more volatility. Some good news here: Hong Kong's largest online broker, Futu, has launched Bitcoin and crypto trading. There's also rumors that China is going to reverse their cryptocurrency ban. We shared news, Robin, that El Salvador and Russia are working to create to accept crypto as payments for exchanging goods and services. We know with the U.S. dollar hegemony and the U.S. government able to put sanctions, I mean, crypto is one way to do that. And so, you know, for our bags, it's good. For the U.S. government, it's not really good because it takes that power away, which is probably makes sense as to why they're so threatened by it. But still, it's a protocol. All blockchains are protocols on the internet, open source, majority of them. And so there's really nothing you can do unless you completely blacklist wallets, which you would have to get the node operators and the validators to be on board, or you shut the internet off, which I don't see either of those happening. So
Shut the internet off, huh?
I mean, if you want to stop crypto. Some good news here on BTC. I think the dip is over. You can see here Bitcoin on the daily. I got the Ichimoku cloud up here. Just absolute perfect retest of the top end of this cloud. reacted positively. On top of that, the 21-day EMA here as well, the red line. We're still in an uptrend, according to the Ichimoku Cloud on the daily for BTC. If we zoom out to the 4-hour, a little different story. We are trading below the cloud, which is bearish. Cloud is red, which is also bearish. But depending on how this 4-hour candle closes in about an hour and 40 minutes, this could potentially be a hammer candle at the bottom of a downtrend, which signifies this is a very strong reversal candle. So can we get a reversal? If we do, I would expect the immediate resistance to be right at $66,754, which is the lower end of the cloud. Unless we get some bullish news, unless we see massive inflows from the Bitcoin ETF, we could potentially blow through that. But I do expect to see some resistance right at $66,700.
You know, just real quick on Bitcoin. I know you got the Bitcoin chart, but have you looked at Bitcoin dominance lately? And, you know, this is on the 1 year.
Almost here. 60, right? 50.
Yeah. So this is the Bitcoin dominance chart on the 1 year. And you can see that just almost a year ago, we were at 45%. And this is just trending up and to the right. And, you know, we always expect that going into a bull market that altcoins will outperform Bitcoin and that smaller caps got more room to run. And it's kind of interesting, you know, that we're this late or we're this late in the game as far as, hey, we've already crossed all-time highs, and yet Bitcoin dominance is just growing, and now it's accelerating, right? And so we're not at 50% anymore. We're climbing quickly up to that 55 to that 60%. So I don't know. I mean, do you think that the altcoin market is ready to run? You think that this is going to be a trend that continues and we see that 55 to 60% Bitcoin dominance again?
I think if recession fears continue, right, and we'll see that with how the investors react and how they invest, right, and also that and
what I think this chart does represent is the fact that the altcoins that haven't performed well, the ones that were around perhaps last market, and people are starting to lose confidence in them.
What are some of those coins?
Polkadot.
You think Cardano is one of those?
I think like Algorand. I mean, what else is falling down the list?
Hedera.
Hedera.
You can say. I mean, I don't believe it, but some people say
Litecoin, Polygon is probably the one that stands out the most. That really is just slipping. You also have Filecoin, and so and Cosmos.
Yeah, Cosmos has been really struggling.
And so there's all the graph. I mean, you can even put like on the shorter time frame, you could put Bonk in there, right? Theta, Phantom. Well, Phantom's made a little bit of a comeback, but
there's a lot of them.
And so what I think that dominance really signifies is that
Algorand's at number 65.
That's what I'm saying, man. I think that the Bitcoin dominance, what you have is Bitcoin's performing well, and then you have just a handful of altcoins holding up the whole altcoin sector, right? Which would be Ethereum, Solana, to a lesser extent, Cardano, and
you got to throw
maybe
BNB in there.
Chainlink and BNB.
I mean, just look at the top
5,
right?
Yeah, of course. But I mean, even in the top 5, I mean, we're still like even Cardano, for example, you know, at top 10. I mean, this was one last bull market cycle that was in number 3 on the market cap list, only behind Ethereum. You know, that was a brief time period. You know, XRP really has been stagnant if you look on the macro sense because of the SEC situation. So I don't know. It's concerning to me seeing that these our favorite projects just aren't doing well, while just a handful of projects, Solana, ETH, a handful of others. But then you see the rise of AI. You see Toncoin entering into the fray as well. And so I don't know. It's just interesting. One that I'm kind of on the fence here is Avalanche. Avalanche, such a beautiful gaming ecosystem. You have the subnets. It seems like it should be higher than it is, but this one, I mean, I think maybe because it's retail driven, it's really just fallen behind the pack because retail just hasn't come in, and institutional money is just buying. We know where venture capital institutions are going. They're going ETH, Solana, Bitcoin.
You know, I want to ask you a question, but before I ask you this question, I want to give a big thank you. Today's show is partly brought to you by Seed Hunter. We just did a video on Seed Hunter. They are the platform that connects projects, Web3 projects, influencers, and also you, the retail investor. So you can create an account on seedhunter.com. We have the link in the description of the video. You can see which projects, and these projects have all been vetted. They have the white paper. They have all the tokenomics. They have all the information you need as a retail investor to get in at prices that typically the venture capitalists do. Yeah. And so if you haven't created an account, highly, highly recommend you do so. You can also earn money on the referral side. Also, if you have a platform, if you're an influencer, right? We think we have a few people in our show here. I know Alex So Crypto's in here. We know Billy Goat Tales. You know Amy. They have platforms. You can also find projects that are looking to use your platform to market, and you can earn money that way as well. And so, Seed Hunter is something we're super excited about. So, big thank you to them.
I like the fact that you get early exposure to new projects. And not
well, here's the thing. All those like, 5 cents, and then now it's at $50. Like, okay, well, how do I get in at those without it being trashy meme coins, right?
Yeah.
Typically, those are not available.
Good luck, because then you got to go on Telegram and try to sift through. So.
And then, well, not only that, but then you got to do all the due diligence yourself. So Seed Hunter kind of takes that away, takes that off your plate, and just makes it a lot easier. So big shout out to Seed Hunter. But I want to ask you, do you believe that? Do you have fear of a recession? Are you in that camp that you think a recession may be 12 months, 24 months from now?
I think the deep recession, that doom and gloom scenario that we were painting back in, say, 2022.
Let me rephrase the question, because I want to make this super, super simple. Will we see, so recession typically is about 30%, 25% drawdown, right?
Further down than we're at now, 30%, no.
20 to 25%?
I think I'm uncertain on the direction of the market right now. I'm just saying that I think that we're going to be either small recession, right? Just a little drawdown from where we're at now, or we just continue the course. What we don't think is going to happen is to have that deep recession that people were predicting for 2022, 2023. And I think that now we're in 2024. I think that we've removed some of the leverage. We've had the higher interest rates, and we're in a scenario where we're going to turn the corner, and I think that the economic situation is going to flip. And how quick does it flip? I don't know. Do we draw down further than we're at now? Possibly. But I don't think it's going to be anything dramatic like some deep recession, depression talks. I don't think that we're going to spook the world economically. But
you think there'll be some sort of a recession?
No, I don't know.
No?
No, I don't.
I believe so. I believe we're going to see a recession. Now, I think depending on who wins in November, it'll be on a scale of severe to not severe. I think that's what's going to happen. And so for me, I'm sitting here thinking, okay, if that does happen, let's say the worst case scenario, we'll get into a really, really bad recession. Maybe not as bad as 2008, maybe just as bad as 2008. Who knows? What am I expecting from the crypto markets?
Yeah,
am I crazy?
That's what I was about to ask. What do you think is going to happen to crypto if you get a recession?
Am I crazy to say, Robin, that if we are completely risk off, markets are down 30%, is it crazy to think that Bitcoin and Ethereum's dominance will be 80%?
Bitcoin plus Ethereum?
80%.
Yeah, obviously if the markets are down, we know that people seek shelter in Bitcoin. That's just how it is, right? You look at,
especially when you got people like Larry Fink talking about.
Does it? I mean, I don't.
Oh, of course it matters. Of course it matters.
No, I'm saying it does matter. But what I'm saying is that at the end of the day, every time you go into a bear market, it's the same. It's the same thing happens, right? You liquidate the crap projects that are over leveraged. They're the ones that the pretenders. That fast money kind of dries up, and then people move whatever money they have into Bitcoin, or the people that are still left standing in the middle of a bear market is usually people with high conviction, with generally they have position on Bitcoin. So if they're DCAing, they're buying more Bitcoin, right?
Are y'all just gonna ignore the $99.99?
Yeah.
Oh damn.
Oh, my boy Billy straight dropping $100 super chat. So thank you so much, Billy.
Billy, we love you.
Damn.
Not just for your money, but for your friendship.
I mean, I love the man for his money too. I'm not even gonna lie.
Wow.
Nah, he's a dear friend of the channel. But yeah, I mean, obviously recession, pullbacks, Bitcoin drops for long periods of time. You're gonna shake the market. People are gonna have less confidence in altcoins, and they're just gonna seek shelter in Bitcoin. That's what happens before. So to answer your question, if we go into recession, crypto tanks. Yeah. 80%.
What's Bitcoin's dominance at? What's Bitcoin's dominance?
I mean, right now we're almost at 55%. So
you think we'll be over 65?
Nah, not that high.
You don't think so?
No, not post-halving, man. Come on now. Yeah, no, I do think that we tick up. Maybe we 56, 58. Maybe we get to 60 briefly, but I mean, realistically, I still, regardless you're in a recession, we're still post-halving. We're in a scenario where we have a supply shock with the halving. You also take into consideration, you have this giant surge of liquidity and demand through the ETF products. And so even if you get rid of the leverage, there's still only so much Bitcoin to go around. And I just can't dismiss the 4-year cycle yet. I just can't. I'm sure diminishing returns with mining, you're going to see less and less significance coming from the halving, but I don't think that's here yet. And so I think that this next 2 years, regardless of a recession, is going to be very beneficial for crypto.
All right, we have our guest joining us. He's been on our show multiple times. Radix is a channel sponsor for a long time, so we love having him on. We love the project. We love what they're doing. We have Adam joining us today. Adam, welcome back, my friend. How are you?
Hey.
I'm doing good, thanks. Although listening into the show, I'm hoping you don't just love me for my money, as you were just saying. So
see what you did, Robin. You pissed off our sponsors. Adam, we're gonna have to have a call after this, but everything's gonna be fine.
It's fine. I took it in jest.
My TV personality is shallow, but I'm a very caring person. So, deep down inside.
Anyways, Adam, we are gonna get into Radix talk, but I gotta ask you probably the most important question. What is your favorite flavor of dipping dots?
Of dipping dots?
Yeah, the ice cream that look like little balls that you.
It's not.
No. I'm on the other side of the Atlantic. We have normal things here. Like I have no idea what that is.
Okay, Adam.
I'm gonna go with strawberry.
It's a generic cheap ice cream that this man is.
You're the one who brought it up. Literally, he's the one who brought it up. Adam, next time you're in Vegas, if you come to Vegas, we're taking you for dipping dots. Anyways,
sounds good.
It's actually really good. Okay, Adam. A lot of things have happened since the last time you came on the show. The most notable one is RadQuest. And so with you here, I would like to play this trailer from the official Radix handle on X. And then we're going to talk about exactly what this thing is and how people from our community can use it to get into the Radix ecosystem and also to earn some rewards and make money as well. So that being said, let's go ahead and play this. It's about a 56-second video. Adam, I shared a post on our page from the Radix page, and I talked about, for me, when I look at projects to invest in, everyone always talks about onboarding the next billion users, but it's anyone can say that. Like, what are you actually doing? So I've been super bullish on projects like Solana. They came out and they did, hey, we're doing the ChatGPT plugin. You can go in there now. Any user can go in and just say, hey, I want to mint an NFT, and it gives them step by step. And it looks like what Radix is really looking to focus on now with the RadQuest is the barrier to entry of bringing people into an ecosystem. Just DeFi as a whole can be a little confusing and daunting for people, even some people that have been around for a while. So what was the idea behind launching RadQuest, and what are some of the unique things that people can do, and how it's looking to move Radix forward and bring on the next billion users?
So the really easy way to talk about this is, what are we trying to do with RadQuest? What we're trying to do is, if you send someone who's not already in crypto, or even has used centralized exchanges but never like self-custody wallets or something, a link to a new dApp, and you're like, hey, go and get started with this on Solana, on Ethereum, on Near, wherever, and you gave them no help, just one link, would they be able to get started? What we've seen is no, they can't, not even close. With RadQuest, our goal is to have a repeatable and scalable onboarding process where you can literally just send that RadQuest list to someone. And by the end of doing it, they will not only be set up, ready to use Radix, but they'll feel confident in being able to engage with dApps on the ecosystem, understand what Web3 is all about and why they want it, and then be able to start exploring much more confidently they could anywhere else.
Yeah, that's amazing. And again, I am all about ease of use. I was trying to, my mother-in-law, I was trying to get her to buy some like meme coin token, right? And I'm like, okay, you gotta onboard money here, and then you gotta send it. You gotta set up a custodial wallet, and you gotta send it here, and then you gotta go to the web browser, and you gotta make sure the thing is right, because if you connect your wallet to a bad site, yada yada yada, you gotta put money there. Make sure you have money for gas fees. Put the contract address. Make sure you do the slippage, and so it can get very confusing.
I'm just caught off guard. You're trying to get your mom to buy meme coins for the first time? Mother-in-law? Like, hey,
He wouldn't get his mum to do it, but mother-in-law, that's fine.
Mother-in-law, that's fine. Adam knows what's up, man. Adam knows what's up.
like, yeah, it's a good investment. That's me.
I was like, only put in what you can afford to lose, not financial advice. If I say that, we're good. But you know, Adam, looking at the page here, so you can go on the radquest.io. You can connect your wallet. And it's got these cool things. So you go one by one. You can see the other ones are locked, which I think is a great idea because you don't want people jumping around, getting confused, and just quitting. So you go on here, welcome to RadQuest, 2 minutes, what it's about. And then the next one will unlock the Radix network, how to get the wallet, how to do stuff on Web3. It gives you, and I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong on any of this information here, Adam, but I believe throughout the processes, you're rewarded with certain airdrops, NFTs. How does that work?
Yeah, so you get two things. When you complete different quests, you get some XRD rewards. Currently, it's just over $20 worth if you do every single quest.
Nice.
And you also earn gift boxes. Now, gift boxes contain different elements, which can be made into gems and these cards, and you can basically combine those through RadQuest to make NFTs. And those NFTs, there's about 3,000 different combinations based on the different qualities and things you get from the components, and they're all on-chain assets. So they're in your wallet. You can go and trade individual components, you can trade finished products, and yeah, it's been going really well. We launched just over 48 hours ago, and we've done over 1 million transactions in that time.
Yeah, and I have this here, Adam. So this is, you reposted this. The Radix network has processed over 1 million transactions since the RadQuest launch, making up 33% of all transactions since the Babylon mainnet upgrade went live. Nearly 400,000 XRD have been burned in transaction fees. 38,000 users have engaged with RadQuest, significantly increasing the volumes through NFT trading. And so we talk about an NFT market that's kind of been pretty down. Could this be something that not only starts to bring the volume and the interest back in NFTs, but are other projects going to look to this and say, this thing is working, and kind of take a page out of the playbook and to grow the DeFi ecosystem, which, we know if that happens, Radix would have been the forefront, the runner on that. But I have this as well, over 1 million burn again, 200,000 transactions in the last 24 hours. How do you foresee this over the next 6 to 12 months? Anything else you guys are looking to integrate with RadQuest or make better? Or are you just taking feedback from the community so far that have used it and kind of taking those steps as you go?
So we've got some cool stuff coming up. We've got a integration with Maya on the cards very, very soon. You may see that there is a quest that currently is saying coming soon for using ThorSwap. So the Maya integration's on their StageNet, so that should be coming in soon as a way to swap trustlessly into and out of Radix. What we are really looking at doing is getting our kind of builder community engaged with this, because while we want to onboard a lot of users, this is also something we want our dApps and projects building on Radix to be able to point to and get users back who know how to use the network. Because if you're a dApp launching on, say, like Solana or Sui or something like that, you have to currently onboard that user if they're not already in that ecosystem. With RadQuest, we wanted to be like, hey, that project, you can point to RadQuest. Once they've set up their wallet, they'll actually get a referral thing in their wallet saying, hey, you're set up now. You're ready to go back to whichever dApp referred you. And that's automatically pulled through. You get a user back who knows what to do. So over the next kind of 6-12 months, we've got a whole bunch of things coming. We're going to be at Token 2049 Singapore if anyone wants to come there and meet Jetty. A little bit of a spoiler on something that we bought. But yeah, it's essentially a way that we want to be able to get a lot more users on. And if you look at what Radix has been doing in the last year, we've been scaling up strategically. So first getting initial builders on, then doing a bit of liquidity incentives to get TVL up, then doing a bit more in terms of our dev engagement, most recently getting that up to 250 million XRD of grants available to builders. Now we're doing a big onboarding push to get more users on. And that kind of pattern is something we'll be keeping up over the long term as we grow kind of really at this pace, as the ecosystem's growing, as the industry's growing, and as we're getting more and more partners and participants within the ecosystem.
Amazing. Adam, I kind of want to ask you, so, let's say I'm a new user, I send someone a link, I go on RadQuest, I complete all of these, right? The basics, the advanced. After I complete all these quests, and I think of like the personal assistant. You remember on like Microsoft Word, you had that little
Yep, Clippy.
Yeah. And so you can ask it questions throughout the process. Is this something that is already here, or maybe people can use after they complete all the quests? That it's like your own little personal assistant there. You're like, hey, I'm having trouble doing this. Can you help me? Like kind of like a plugin. Is that something that is already in place, or that you guys are maybe planning on working on?
So kind of, it's in RadQuest. So in RadQuest, throughout going through everything, like if you start doing like, oh, what is a transaction, or what is a DApp? The introduction and the actual main quest cards don't say anything about that. They just kind of assume that it's in there, but you can click any of those key terms or anything like that. And Jetty, which is the giant purple otter mascot, kind of pops up from the side. And Jetty's an interesting story. So Jetty was created in work we did with a company called Us2, who you may not have heard of, but you probably have heard of their most famous app, which was they made Monument Valley, which was Apple's Game of the Year 2014.
Oh, yeah.
So they did all of the product development work for Jetty and a lot of the look and feel, really. So it's not only appealing to people already in crypto today, but also so you can send it to your mother-in-law, for example, and get her set up, understanding what this whole thing of why you want a wallet, what you do with a wallet, what's a transaction, why do I have things in my wallet? All of that's taken care of by RadQuest, so you can just get them to go and buy some meme coins.
Amazing. Well, we know the meme coin sector. I'm a believer in meme coins are not going away, and so other people. And so I think it's a really quick and easy way to onboard people into the ecosystem. Also, a quick and easy way to turn people off if they put money in the wrong meme coin. Adam, I want to ask you, with DeFi as a whole, right? Obviously, Radix, like radically different DeFi, right? That is your mantra. That is what you guys do. That is what you guys focus on. One of the only successful true layer one DeFis versus building a solution on top of something like Ethereum or Solana. What are your thoughts on where the DeFi market is today? We're actually, we're going to have this conversation.
Also, I'll just jump in on that as well. I'm just always, I get asked all the time, like, hey, what's the next coin that's going to pump, or sector, or what's going on with the markets? I always go back to the same thing. I'm like, hey, crypto was created for DeFi. I mean, that was the whole thesis behind Bitcoin, and that's what it does best. That's what it's best suited for. Now you can also have utility and do other aspects of everyday life. You can integrate crypto, but yeah, you know what it does best? It's absolutely DeFi's king. And so that's what I'm most excited about when it comes to DeFi. So
yeah. So what are your thoughts on where the DeFi sector is now, and where it's kind of going over the next, let's just say, 6 to 12 months?
So right now, DeFi is in a weird void between like proof of concept really getting a lot of attention, which we saw in like DeFi summer, through to regulation and serious players starting to have a look at this and going, hang on, this makes a lot of sense. So I'm ultra bullish on DeFi. Even if you put to the side like all the ideological benefits of crypto and Web3, pragmatically, it just makes sense. The entire purpose of like the global financial system is to allocate capital based on risk and opportunity and make liquidity move as efficiently as possible. And Web3 and crypto does that better than anything else. And we're seeing that with things like real world assets. Real world assets are obviously taking things like ETFs or equities or things like that and putting them on chain, sure. But it's also taking things that previously were illiquid. So machinery, farm equipment, potential stock or other things like that, which can now be tokenized and be used as collateral or can be traded against. And these are new markets that just simply can't exist in TradFi. So you're then going, yep.
No, I was sorry to interrupt you. I was saying that is such an interesting point that not a lot of people talk about. We always talk about treasury bills and real estate. What about stuff that can't be, like you mentioned, leverage? And so very, very interesting perspective there.
And it goes up. Like if you look at even people like BlackRock, for example, have been publicly talking about why they want to tokenize everything. And it's not ideological. It's because they can save vast sums of money overall on tiny kind of percentage efficiency improvements compared to the TradFi system. And when you start adding all those up, you start going, well, if the internet is like this global layer to transfer information far more efficiently than we could with magazines and newspapers, Web3 and crypto is essentially the ability of an asset layer of the world where you can transact any asset or anything of value to anyone or anything at any time. And having that kind of global network is allowing every participant, be that retail coming in wanting to buy meme coins or just pay some bills, all the way up to the largest fund managers like BlackRock or Fidelity, wanting to make their systems more efficient, cut out middlemen, have shared trust layers, and really be able to create whole new markets and create more products for the entire range of potential participants in the global economy.
Amazing. Adam, before we let you go, any piece of alpha you want to share with our community?
I think I already snuck one in with the Maya Bridge integrating Radix very, very soon. So they've been tweeting out they're very keen on it. And of course, on RadQuest, you've got that Thor swap hidden quest coming in there. But $20 available and a bunch of really cool NFTs and more if you go and use RadQuest now. Although I do want to point out, today isn't necessarily the best day to do it. We've been a bit too successful in getting the promotion out about this. So the back-end system, the Web 2 part, is struggling a little bit. So you might have to wait a little while if you go and use it today. So maybe do it over the weekend.
Cool. That's amazing. Adam, always a pleasure having you on, my friend. Thank you so much for joining us. And we look forward to talking to you again soon.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
Did Billy drop another $100?
Yeah, another $100 super chat from Crypto Billy.
Perfect timing, because Ashley said she needs to get her nails done today.
I do. I'm getting my nails and my toes done today.
Nails and toes. And now we can upgrade her to the gel.
Ooh.
Where it stays on longer. That's just what my wife tells me.
That's
My wife tells me that, yeah.
Good job.
Except when you put it on a little girl like my daughter and it went away in like a day.
Does she pick it off?
Probably.
Where's this conversation going?
No idea.
To getting nails done.
Yeah,
Get your
getting
nails
nails
done
done.
too?
No.
You know, I want to take this conversation from nails to the crypto markets.
That was
Wow.
a really good segue.
That was amazing. What a
So you see on your screen, time to buy, okay? What do we have on there? We had Caspa on there. We got Radix on there. We got BTC on there. It's never a bad time to buy BTC. But with Caspa at all-time highs, let's check where it's at right now, 19.7 cents. So just a smidge off all-time highs. Is Caspa still a good buy right now, Robin, near all-time highs? Yes or no? What are your thoughts?
I think if you have the long-term time horizon, or
When you
at
say
least
that, what is long-term?
I would say this bull market.
So the next 18 months?
Yeah, next 18 months, I think it's almost like a no-brainer. Now, you can make an argument that, hey, it's already ran pretty hard. You know, how much more room does it have to run? Well, you know, I think that video that we did yesterday, where we discussed Marathon and the fact that they're mining, taking their Caspa, selling it into Bitcoin, it just shows you that, hey, you know what? There's a giant profit margin from mining. So you're going to introduce a lot of people into the ecosystem. Whether or not they believe in Caspa or not, they're just going to look at it from a revenue standpoint. If you have ASICs, if you're mining and you're like, hey, man, you know what? Make a lot more money on Caspa. And next thing you know, you got a Caspa wallet, you got Caspa. How many of these miners are going to sit here and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to hold some of this. You never know how high it's going to go. And you're essentially going to onboard more and more users. And so for me, I think that the proof of work, because of the lack of competition, you got Bitcoin, Caspa, and then there's some other projects way further down.
Ethereum Classic.
Stop it. There's a lot of other proof of work concepts, but those are small cryptos. And so do you expect those small cryptos to rally just off the simple fact that they're proof of work? I don't think so. And so right now, you got Bitcoin, you got Caspa, if you believe in the proof of work, and that's it, really. I mean, there, like I said, there's other ones, but nobody's talking about them. And so for me, I just think it's because of the lack of competition. I just don't see a scenario where it really just falls off from where it is now. Maybe we pull back. We're a little overbought right now.
Listen to what Fred Thiel said, right? The CEO of Marathon. We get $1 per kilowatt hour of mining Caspa and 8 cents, same on Bitcoin. That's like a 12x. So if you're a massive company and you have the infrastructure and you want to scale out and you want to kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? You want to expand outside of just Bitcoin, diversify. What's the other thing you're looking at?
That's what I was saying.
Right?
There's no other competition. So it's Bitcoin and Caspa right now. If you were a large organization mining. Now, I mean, you can also argue that that could be downside sell pressure, right? Hey, you have companies like Marathon that are just simply mining Caspa to dump, dump what they mine immediately. That's something to take into consideration, and maybe it suppresses the price action in the long term, compared to where we would expect it without the without that big miner sell pressure. But I still think that because it's so heavy on retail, fact that it's new, the lack of competition, I just don't see a scenario where Caspa just doesn't perform well over the next 18 months. And so, dollar Caspa I think is realistically around the corner. Right? And maybe not in the next 3 months, but I do think by the end of the year. Do you think a Caspa dollar by the end of the year?
Yeah.
Works?
I think so. Unless the market's just nuked. But I mean, even the market's nuking. Well, not nuking, but Bitcoin's 62.5. Caspa's almost at 20 cents. Right where it was.
Yeah.
So, one more thing on the markets here, Rob, and then we'll get into some Solana and XRP news. But out of the biggest losers here in the top, in the last 24 hours, you got Dog with Hat, Mogcoin. So the top two are memes, right? Ordi, Floki. So 3 out of the 5 are memes. Thorchain, Bonk, Lido, Beam. Anything on here that you're looking at and just licking your chops to get more exposure, or maybe get for the first time? Is it Solana down 12%? Is it something like, the top meme coin on Base?
I mean, honestly, at this point, I just still got to go with Ethereum. Ethereum's sitting at $3,000, and I just think it's what we've seen here recently is the fact that you had all that sell pressure coming from Grayscale liquidating their trust, essentially, is what it was, or rebalancing, getting to NAV. But it's such a good deal. I think that what we saw in Bitcoin, where post ETF launch, we saw a drawdown in Bitcoin significantly for about a week or 2 weeks, and then it was off to the races. Bitcoin went from 44,000 upon listing in the ETF, dropped down to 40,000. I think briefly was under 40,000 for a few days, and it's almost the same playbook you got here for Ethereum. You go from 3,500, and then it draw down to 3,000. I think that we'll have a couple days where it's underneath $3,000, perhaps at 2,900, 2,800, and I just can't see a scenario where it doesn't rally once the sell pressure's gone, right? You're going to have BlackRock and all of these other ETF providers offering a product to traditional finance who's already made money on Bitcoin is going to look to diversify. And not to mention that BlackRock themselves are super bullish on ETH, the ETH network, and real world assets. So I just look at it as like, I think it's the best deal right now when you take into account
the best
risk.
deal.
When you take into account risk, right?
Is it a better deal than Cardano at 37 cents?
I just think that because of the liquidity upside that you have, I think that you have percentage-wise, it seems like it's a better play to go to Ethereum than Cardano. Now,
what about Ethereum or Litecoin?
Stop. No. Like I think that there's a bigger upside chance with Cardano, right? I think that Cardano will probably get up to $3 again. I do think that Ethereum is not going to 8x from where it's at. But I do think that a solid 3 to 5x over the next 18 months is what I'm expecting out of Ethereum. And I just don't think there's that much downside drawdown. But you never know, man. Maybe retail doesn't come in, and some of these retail specific projects like Cardano just don't see that big price rally. Nothing against Cardano, but you know what? They rallied last time. I mean, just from a tokens price perspective, from the ADA coin last bull market, it rallied to where it did because everyone was talking about Cardano. There was a lot of buzz on it, and a lot of retail just threw money at it. And so if retail doesn't come in, will Cardano see that $3 price again? Probably not. But with Ethereum, it doesn't need the retail because of the ETF, because of traditional finance, diversifying. So I think that it's a safer play with a lot of upside.
I think we're all going to be surprised with what Cardano does in Argentina with the government. I really do. They're down there right now for the Constitutional Committee, right?
Yeah.
And so I just think it makes total sense. You got someone like Javier Milei, you got someone like Charles Hoskinson, both outspoken, seem to be both, for the people, like retail, the average person. And so there's ties there, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's some government services that start running on Cardano. And now with Voltaire and Chang hard fork's ready. The hard fork is ready, right? The validators have all upgraded. Well, not all of them, but I think they met their threshold. And so I think a lot of people will be surprised. You throw in retail on top of that, $7, $8 Cardano.
Yeah.
If you throw retail on top of it. So
yeah, if they get nation state adoption or use case, and then you also throw retail on there, absolutely.
Yeah,
I agree.
All right, let's talk about Solana really quick. Rocco, any updates on the Solana Saga 2 phone?
Yeah, you have a pre-order, right?
No? Okay. Well, I got some good news for you, my friend.
Nothing yet, no.
Got some good news. Rocco, the Send coin announces an airdrop for Solana Mobile Chapter 2 pre-orderers. Eligible users can now claim their airdrop directly on X. Have you done this, Rocco? Are you going to after the show?
Right now.
He's right now. I love it.
Right now.
Because obviously, as a channel, and it's a business, right? We treat this channel, we treat our YouTube channel, our studio as a business. Some people don't, but we do. So we always go back and look at our numbers. We look at what performed well, what didn't, what titles, what tags, what thumbnail. We're constantly evaluating our content to make sure that we bring the best content for our viewers and our community. And so the video we did on the Saga 2 phone, this was what, 3 months ago?
3 months ago. No.
6 months ago?
Yeah, it was.
Continues to just get constant
time.
views. And so people want to know about the Saga 2 phone, all the excitement. As mentioned, we know Rocco pre-ordered his. And so this is something that blew the roof on the expectations. And we're probably going to see more announcements like this as far as more airdrops. We know the first Solana phone, once people figured out that bonk airdrop was worth more than the phone price, it sold out in like 2 minutes. 2 minutes. And then we also have this from Matthew Seigel, head of digital assets at VanEck, says Solana ETFs may come sooner than expected. I think the next ETF makes sense for it to be Solana. It's either that, or if the court case is done, I would say XRP, or even before the court case is done, because technically the XRP token is not a security. It's been labeled a commodity. So I think between Solana and XRP, I think those are the two that make the most sense for TradFi to go next. But if this gets announced, if we get a Fidelity or BlackRock filing for a spot of Solana ETF, I would expect the price of Solana to rally 20 to 30% almost immediately. Kind of like what Ethereum did, right?
Yeah, I agree.
And then speaking of Ethereum, spot Ethereum ETFs flipped positive after a $34 million inflow on July 30th. So just 2 days ago, fund flows to U.S. spot ETFs for Ethereum have flipped to a daily net positive for the first time since its launch day, due mainly to a slowdown in bleeding from the Grayscale Ethereum Trust. Now, the bleeding hasn't been as bad. The biggest reason why is, well, that NAV, that discount premium, wasn't as big as the one on Bitcoin. So people weren't sitting on 30, 40% gains once the ETF went live and decided to sell. It was more like 2 to 5%. And so on top of that, now with the launch, the conversion of their trust to an ETF, Grayscale also launched side by side adjacent a mini ETF for Ethereum that's a lot lower in fees. I think it's actually the lowest on the market. So they have a product that's the highest on the market and a product that's the lowest on the market. They're hoping that the money that flows out of the high one goes into the lower fee one. And so, any thoughts on the Solana or Ethereum tidbits here?
No, it just shows you that, back to the Ethereum situation. I agree. Absolutely bullish. You give a giant surge of liquidity by having the ETF for Solana. But where we're at with Ethereum, is this sell pressure over, or is there more outflow days coming for Ethereum? I think so. I think there are probably a few more, but I don't think that it's going to be long lived. And so maybe a week, 2 at most. I think where we get that Grayscale impacting the flows. And from there, it's just off to the races. I think we're going to get back to accumulating. I think that Bitcoin will get back to that 70K range. And yeah, I'm just very bullish still on crypto right now. I know that people are looking at the price of Bitcoin and saying, "Hey, man, you know what? 62,000. Whatever happened to that $70,000 Bitcoin?" I think it's right around the corner. I think this is just a little pullback. We're gonna clear out some long positions, and then it'll be off to the races.
You know who else is off to the races? Racing to the Department of Motor Vehicles is the Avalanche blockchain. California's DMV's Avalanche blockchain adoption is a big win for crypto. So the California DMV digitized 42 million car titles as tokens on the Avalanche blockchain. This is part of the state agency's effort to modernize the title transfer process, and users will have access to the digital car titles by early next year. Rob, this is pretty big. You know,
It's
California is, if you look at their economy on a global scale, they're in the top 10 of every country, right? So massive economy.
But it just shows you that local governments, and I mean, you say local governments, you know, as you mentioned, California, huge government, but you know, you have governments out here using blockchain, and they're using it in a day-to-day real world asset kind of way.
Yeah.
And you know, what's next? You know, you got car titles now. Might not sound that bullish or that great of that amazing of a story. I'm sure you're not sitting there calling your friends and family like, guess what? My title now is on blockchain. Like, you know what I mean? But
no one's checking the blockchain, G.
but I mean, at the end of the day, you know, it's just the next domino to fall. How many things are going to be on blockchain as far as documents, right? Soon you'll have, instead of carrying around that little piece of paper in your glove box when you get pulled over and you're over here trying to find it, you know, an insurance card is probably going to be on a blockchain too. We know that ticketing makes a lot of sense to as
that makes so much sense.
And so, you know, that's just, it's logical, right? Why keep it on some mainframe for Amazon Web Services and then have 8 different passwords and logins, and you're getting information hacked and data leaks, and just put on the blockchain. Anybody can access it. You give people permission to pull it if it's sensitive data. You can keep it opaque if need be. And I don't know. It just seems like the logical fix to a lot of our document scenarios. Driver's license soon will probably be on a blockchain too.
Medical records,
medical records, deeds to your home, titles to your car, ticketing. It just makes a lot of sense to be there. So,
you know what else makes a lot of sense? Legacy Network. Today's show is also partly brought to you by Legacy Network. Big shout out, 50,000 downloads, ranked number 5 on the Apple Play Store for education apps. And so if you haven't downloaded the Legacy Academy app, I highly, highly recommend you do so. It's a step-by-step guide. You can earn money once their token goes live. And you can pick different categories of self-improvement, whether it's in your love life, your business life, your personal life, time management. It's got a bunch of different, I don't want to say courses, but modules on there that you can do and earn rewards. So it's fun, it's exciting, and you get to better yourself, be a better person. So excited for that. And then one more thing I wanted to share here, news from Ripple for all you XRP fans. Ripple partners with Open Eden to tap tokenized treasury markets. As Adam mentioned, RWA is a big one. The tokenization platform Open Eden announced on Thursday that it will start offering tokenized U.S. Treasury bills on the XRP ledger for the first time. Open Eden collects funds from investors to buy short-term U.S. Treasury bills and other reverse repurchase agreements, also known as repos, collateralized by treasuries. These T-bills are converted into digital T-bill tokens and stored on the XRPL blockchain. Anyone who wants to mint these tokens must undergo a stringent KYC and AML check. And this is a quote from Jeremy Ng, the co-founder at Open Eden. Open Eden has attracted a wide range of institutional clients, including foundations, corporate treasuries, and buy-side funds, contributing to a stable and diversified user base. Oh, and then aren't they going to have a stable coin soon, Robin? Ripple! Ripple, please go public so I can buy shares of your company. Don't tell me XRP is a share.
Good luck getting the SEC to approve that.
When they win the court case, they will. When it's finalized. Any thoughts on this, Rob? Before?
No, I'm a lot more bullish on Ripple and
I am very bullish on Ripple. XRP token, different story. I still hold some. Haven't sold any. But yeah, Ripple Company, what they're doing, super bullish.
It's like saying, I'm bullish on electric vehicles. I just don't like Teslas. Like,
You can do that.
hey, I'm saying.
That was a really bad analogy.
No,
Coming
I'm
from
saying,
someone
I'm
who's
saying
really
that
good at-
it's the
No.
king of electric vehicles.
For someone who's good at
Obviously,
analogies, that was
they
a terrible
lead the
analogy.
sector. And so if you like electric vehicles.
I like women, but I don't like that woman. We can't. You gotta like all women. I do like all women.
What?
Anyways, that'll do it for today's show.
Are you confused, Rocco? He's confused.
Rocco definitely looks confused. He's either confused, tired, or a little bit of both.
Are you confused?
I'm confused.
Ashley looks lonely. Someone needs to be in that chair next to her.
Maybe she should download the Legacy app.
That's like, Ashley, you should download the Legacy app.
I should.
Why don't you do it right now?
After the show.
After the show, Ashley's going to download the Legacy app. Who's going to join her? I already have it, or else I would join her. That being said, Rocco, bro, you got to wait for the spin, dude. Rocco's on vacation.
He's ready to go.
Yeah, he was ready to go when you're, if you like him.
He's trying to claim that airdrop on the Saga phone. Guys, thank you so much.
it.
We'll see you tomorrow.
It's too late, by the way. It was an hour ago. Too late for the airdrop.
So every day stay tapped in.
All right, guys.
Facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in, then you win. We divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David. I spit the game, but they gave it. Named according to your favorite. I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the well members. Buy dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us mean coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to sin. And sinners gon' play to win. Screaming, hola, till my bags are flowing over. Hold ya to the moon and to the solar. Won't I?